Understanding ground fault circuit interrupter, commonly known as GFI or GFCI, requirements in commercial kitchens is crucial for electrical safety. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, dictates these requirements to minimize the risk of electrical shock to personnel. In the context of a 120-volt, 16-amp coffee machine, several factors determine whether GFI protection is needed. Let's examine each scenario. Firstly, if the coffee machine is connected to a standard 120-volt, 16-amp receptacle, GFI protection is generally required. Commercial kitchens are considered wet locations due to frequent cleaning and the presence of water, increasing the risk of ground faults. The NEC mandates GFI protection for receptacles in such locations to protect personnel from electrical hazards. Secondly, if the coffee machine is connected to a single outlet, meaning it's the only device plugged into that particular receptacle, the GFI requirement still typically applies. The determining factor isn't the number of devices plugged in, but rather the location of the receptacle. Since it's in a commercial kitchen, a wet location, GFI protection is necessary. Thirdly, regarding twist lock connections, a twist lock receptacle doesn't inherently negate the need for GFI protection. Twist lock receptacles are designed to provide a more secure and reliable connection, preventing accidental disconnections, but they don't offer ground fault protection. If the twist lock receptacle is in a location where GFI protection is required, such as a commercial kitchen, it must be GFI protected. This can be achieved by using a GFI circuit breaker or a GFI receptacle. Fourthly, if the coffee machine is hardwired, the rules change. Hardwiring refers to directly connecting the coffee machine's conductors to the building's electrical system without using a plug and receptacle. In this case, GFI protection isn't always required by the NEC, but may still be beneficial. The specific requirements for hardwired equipment vary depending on the equipment type and the specific code requirements. In summary, for the 120-volt, 16-amp coffee machine scenarios in a commercial kitchen, GFI protection is generally required for standard receptacles, single outlets, and twist lock connections, but not necessarily for hardwired connections. It's important to consult the latest edition of the NEC and local electrical codes to ensure compliance and prioritize safety. Always consult with a qualified electrician for specific installation requirements and to ensure all electrical work is performed safely and correctly. The function of a GFI is to protect people from electrical shock. It works by monitoring the current flowing in the circuit. If there is a difference of 6 mA or more between the outgoing and returning current, the GFI trips, quickly cutting off the power. This happens in a fraction of a second, preventing a dangerous electrical shock. GFI are designed to protect against ground faults, which occur when electricity flows outside of the intended circuit path, often through a person's body. This can happen if the insulation on a wire is damaged or if a device has a short circuit. GFI are different from standard circuit breakers, which are designed to protect equipment from overloads and short circuits. Circuit breakers trip when the current exceeds the breaker's rating, preventing damage to the wiring and equipment. However, circuit breakers don't always protect against ground faults because the current may not be high enough to trip the breaker. GFI are much more sensitive to current imbalances than circuit breakers, making them effective at preventing electrical shock. There are two main types of GFI: receptacle type GFI and circuit breaker type GFI. Receptacle type GFI are installed in place of standard receptacles and provide GFI protection only at that location. Circuit breaker type GFI are installed in the electrical panel and provide GFI protection for the entire circuit. In commercial kitchens, both types of GFI may be used depending on the specific requirements of the installation. The NEC specifies the locations where GFI protection is required. These locations typically include areas where water is present, such as kitchens, bathrooms, and outdoor areas. The NEC also specifies the types of equipment that require GFI protection, such as portable appliances, cord and plug connected equipment, and equipment used in wet locations. When installing GFI, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and the NEC requirements. GFI should be tested regularly to ensure they are functioning properly. To test a GFI receptacle, press the test button on the receptacle. The GFI should trip, cutting off the power to the receptacle. To reset the GFI, press the reset button. If the GFI does not trip when the test button is pressed, it should be replaced. It is also important to ensure that the wiring is properly grounded. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, allowing the GFI to trip. Improper grounding can prevent the GFI from functioning properly and increase the risk of electrical shock. GFI are an essential safety device in commercial kitchens and other locations where water is present. They protect people from electrical shock by quickly cutting off the power in the event of a ground fault. By following the NEC requirements and installing and testing GFI properly, you can help ensure the safety of your employees and customers. When dealing with electrical systems, it is always best to consult with a qualified electrician. Electricians have the training and experience to safely install and maintain electrical systems and can help you ensure that your electrical system is in compliance with the NEC and local electrical codes. They can also help you troubleshoot electrical problems and identify potential hazards. In addition to GFI protection, there are other electrical safety measures that should be taken in commercial kitchens. These measures include using properly grounded equipment, avoiding overloading circuits, and keeping electrical equipment clean and dry. It is also important to train employees on electrical safety procedures. Employees should be trained on how to identify electrical hazards and how to respond to electrical emergencies. By taking these steps, you can help create a safe working environment for your employees and customers. The NEC is a comprehensive set of standards for electrical installations. It is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and best practices. It is important to stay up to date on the latest edition of the NEC to ensure that your electrical system is in compliance. The NEC covers a wide range of topics, including wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and equipment installation. It also includes specific requirements for different types of occupancies, such as commercial kitchens, healthcare facilities, and industrial plants. The NEC is not law, but it is widely adopted by state and local governments. Many jurisdictions require electrical installations to comply with the NEC. It is important to check with your local authorities to determine the specific electrical codes that are in effect in your area. Compliance with the NEC is essential for ensuring the safety of electrical installations. It helps to prevent electrical fires, electrical shock, and other electrical hazards. By following the NEC requirements, you can help create a safe environment for your employees, customers, and the public. In addition to the NEC, there are other standards and guidelines that may be applicable to electrical installations and commercial kitchens. These include standards from organizations such as the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, and the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, or IEE. It is important to be familiar with all applicable standards and guidelines to ensure that your electrical system is in compliance. Electrical safety is a critical concern in commercial kitchens. By understanding the GFI requirements, following the NEC, and taking other electrical safety measures, you can help create a safe working environment for your employees and customers. Always remember to consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work and to stay up to date on the latest electrical codes and standards. Furthermore, consider the specific use of the coffee machine. Is it used near a sink or other water source? The closer it is to water, the more critical GFI protection becomes. The NEC often uses the term within 6 feet of a sink as a guideline for GFI requirements. Even if the coffee machine is not directly next to a sink, splashing or spills can easily occur in a commercial kitchen environment. In such cases, GFI protection adds an extra layer of safety. Also, the age of the building and its electrical system can influence GFI requirements. Older buildings may not have been originally wired with GFI protection in mind. Retrofitting GFI protection can be more challenging in older buildings, but it's often a worthwhile investment to improve safety. It's important to have a qualified electrician assess the existing electrical system and determine the best way to implement GFI protection. Moreover, consider the type of coffee machine. Some commercial coffee machines are designed with built-in safety features, such as double insulation or grounding systems. These features can reduce the risk of electrical shock, but they don't necessarily eliminate the need for GFI protection. GFI protection provides an additional layer of protection, even if the equipment has built-in safety features. Employee training is also crucial for electrical safety in commercial kitchens. Employees should be trained on how to use electrical equipment safely, how to identify electrical hazards, and what to do in the event of an electrical emergency. They should also be instructed on how to test and reset GFI. Regular training can help prevent accidents and ensure that employees are aware of the risks associated with electricity. In addition to GFI protection, other safety measures should be implemented in commercial kitchens to minimize the risk of electrical hazards. These measures include using proper wiring methods, ensuring that all electrical equipment is properly grounded, and avoiding the use of extension cords. Extension cords should only be used temporarily and should be heavy-duty cords that are rated for the intended use. It's also important to keep electrical equipment clean and dry. Water and grease can conduct electricity and increase the risk of electrical shock. Regular cleaning and maintenance can help prevent electrical hazards. Furthermore, consider the potential for tampering or misuse of electrical equipment. In a commercial kitchen environment, employees may be tempted to bypass safety features or overload circuits. It's important to have clear policies and procedures in place to prevent such behavior. Employees should be instructed on the importance of following safety procedures and the consequences of violating those procedures. Regular inspections can also help identify potential problems and ensure that the equipment is being used safely. Finally, remember that electrical codes and standards are constantly evolving. It's important to stay up to date on the latest requirements and to consult with a qualified electrician whenever you have questions or concerns about electrical safety. Electrical safety is an ongoing process that requires vigilance and attention to detail. By taking the necessary precautions and following the established guidelines, you can help create a safe and healthy working environment for your employees and customers. In conclusion, when determining GFI requirements for a 120-volt 16-amp coffee machine in a commercial kitchen, you should consider the following. Firstly, the location of the receptacle. Secondly, the type of connection. Thirdly, the age of the building. Fourthly, the type of coffee machine. Fifthly, employee training. And sixthly, the potential for tampering or misuse. By considering these factors, you can make an informed decision about whether GFI protection is needed and ensure that your electrical system is in compliance with the NEC and local electrical codes. Always prioritize safety and consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work.